What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about Nisha Filters, specifically the Nisha R3 filter, but I've also got a few other ones that I want to talk about. What are Nisha filters, you may be wondering, because there's not a ton of information or examples of them online that I have been able to find. So the Nisha R3 by far seems to be the most popular one. I was able to find at least one other video of somebody trying this one out. But the other ones that I bought, like this one, this is the Nisha R6 in a 52mm format. I haven't seen anybody online with a picture that was taken with this filter. So, and now I know why. I bought 4 of these filters. I bought the R3, which is by far my favorite, the R5, both of these are a 72mm version. I also bought the R6 in a 52mm, and I bought the R21 in a 52mm version. These two I bought specifically because I wanted to try them out on my film camera. I only have one film lens and it takes 52mm filters, so I've started a collection of 52mm filters so that I can use them with film. So when I bought these filters, I was initially most excited for these two because I wanted to try and shoot some cool Prism stuff with neon on Cinestill film. I did try that out and I didn't get great results. You may have seen the results of this one, I believe, in my expired Fujifilm street photography video. I took this photo and I also took this photo on the Fujifilm, and neither of them really worked great, as you can see. I also took this photo with this filter on film, also not a great result. So after having 3 dud photos, I kind of stopped testing these ones. So I will do a more thorough video on these ones at some point in the future once I have tested them out a little bit more. But today I want to talk to you about the 77mm versions. So, Nisha. I had not really heard of this brand before. It's not like a hyped brand by any means. You know, like Prism Lens Effects makes similar stuff. They're 77mm filters and they're like prisms and stuff, and they are super hyped and they advertise to me all the time, and like I see a whole bunch of people tagging them, and there's like there's a Prism Lens Effects hashtag that you can go to find examples of things that were taken with Prism Lens Effects filters and all that. There's not really that much information out there about what Nisha filters do, which is why I was so fascinated by them when I saw them available on B&H Photo. Another thing that I found really fascinating was that you could get them in any size. So it's not just a 77mm, you can also get, yeah, the 52, but you can get any size in between. And the R, so this is the R3, refers to the number of panes, and you can get all the way up to like, yeah, R21. So there's dozens and dozens and dozens of different varieties of these filters that you can get. I got these 4 filters for $196 on B&H Photo, and if you spend more than $100 on B&H Photo, shipping is free, so I got shipping for free. These ones were about $50 each, I believe, and honestly, I have at least gotten $50 worth out of this one, by far. So the first couple times that I used this filter, I only put it on for like a few minutes at a time, just because I didn't really know how the final images were going to turn out. One thing that I noticed right off the bat was that my camera does have a really hard time focusing, like with the autofocus, when this is on. It has a lot easier of a time focusing when the R5 is on because it's got that pane in the middle. This guy doesn't have that, so it has a hard time, like when you have 3 versions of a subject in the frame, it has a hard time picking which version of the subject to focus on. So I found that it was most helpful for me to switch into live view, which allows me to kind of tap where on the image I would like it to focus, and then I can just tap on one version of the person's face. I've only used these ones for portrait photography, so this review video is going to be mostly talking about my experience with portrait photography in these. Besides the issue with the focusing in this one, I also noticed that even when it is focused, it's not incredibly clear, and I think that's because the glass quality is cheap or just not meant as optical glass or something. The final images tend to have a slight chromatic aberration or some kind of aberration that makes the image not look true to form. And I've never noticed that in the Prism Lens Effects kaleidoscope filter. For example, here is a photo of somebody's eyeball with the kaleidoscope filter, and here is a photo of somebody's eyeball with the Nisha R3. If I zoom in really, really close, you can kind of see what I mean, like the edges just aren't crisp. And I don't think that's a focus problem because this was in focus, it was giving me the green little box. I think this is an issue with the actual glass. So yeah, that part is not exceptional. But you know what? Even though the results that I get with this are not technically perfect, they are still really cool and interesting, and I really love them all the same. So like, I mean, this shot, I think that's really, really cool. And I think when you look at this shot, your first instinct is not going to be like scroll in on the eyeballs and see if her eyelashes are in focus or not. It's going to be like, whoa, that's a cool, like impactful shot. You know what I mean? And like this one of Sam, I was trying to go for something that was kind of chaotic, and so I think with the overall chaotic vibe of the shot, having it be slightly like not perfect focus sort of helps that feeling of like delirium that comes through in the image. So I think there's definitely a time and place where this can be used effectively, and I've been having a lot of fun finding those times and places. I didn't expect to like it this much, honestly. I thought that these were just going to be like products that I tested out to do a review on them and just kind of like contribute to the body of knowledge on the internet, because there wasn't a whole bunch out there on these. But this guy is now like permanently in my kit alongside my Starburst Effects filter and Dream Effects filter from Prism Lens Effects. I also have this guy in there because it's just a really interesting look. One more thing actually that I should mention is that there's a bit of vignetting, and I think maybe you can see why. Like, so the overall like casing for it is very deep, and so when you put it on the end of the lens and you zoom all the way out, it does vignette quite a bit. But the vignetting kind of adds to that dark, oppressive feel that you can get with a filter like this. So for comparison, here's the Kaleidoscope filter from Prism Lens Effects, and as you can see, it doesn't have that super deep ring. But that super deep ring also makes these ones somewhat stackable, so you can screw them onto each other, whereas you cannot stack Prism Lens Effects Prism filters. You can stack this on top of like a Dream Effects filter, because the Dream Effects filter goes on the bottom, but you can't stack anything on top for, I think, obvious reasons. But you can stack these ones on top of each other. Not sure why you'd ever really want to do that. It's a little bit much, but maybe if you had like 2-3 ones, you could get some interesting results or something. I'm not sure, but that is an option that's available in these and is not available in the Prism Lens Effects. Another benefit of these ones, and you know what, I'm not trying to like sell you on these over Prism Lens Effects, because overall I do think Prism Lens Effects has better quality products, but these ones are also cheaper. This is $50, whereas this one was, I think, around $70 or $80. And plus I got free shipping on this one. The shipping on Prism Lens Effects is extremely expensive. Oh, and these are also quite a bit lighter. I think it's the glass quality. These ones are definitely just like regular glass and they're very light. So throwing a bunch of these in my bag isn't really an issue, whereas throwing all of my Prism Lens Effects Prism filters in my bag gets to be quite cumbersome if I'm going out on like a location shoot. I pretty much only bring these guys along now if I'm going to shoot in studio. So yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend trying at least the 3 one out, because you do get really cool results. It's on B&H Photo. Check out their other products as well. I am probably going to order some more of these at some point in the future, but I'll have to experiment with this one a bit more first, just because I want to get my money's worth out of them before I start buying more, I think understandably. They also come in these nice little cases that smell extremely plasticky, specifically like those discount Pokemon figurines that you could get in like the 2000s that were like definitely not made by the Pokemon company, but they had this like particular plastic smell. I don't know if it's probably a very niche memory, but they smell like that. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are looking forward to testing out these products. Next video will be the video essay. I know I keep saying that I'm gonna make a video essay, and I was gonna do it this time, and I was writing the script all the way up until like last night at like midnight, and I was just like, okay, you know what? No, I don't wanna rush this. So it's gonna come out at some point in the future, hopefully next week, maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, stay sharp, and don't forget to keep shooting. Bye guys.